So here we are on the 20th of May in whatever week we are since the lockdown began now, and the landscape's looking really different than it was a couple of months ago. It's just about the most perfect time of year. It's so beautiful and green. And I've chosen today to bring this book to a close, think where we are with the impending reopening of schools. Or are we? Or will they? And a very real need for everybody to think more carefully about the questions around how we turn this into our normal way of life, and we stop thinking of it as crisis and a one-off and start thinking of it as the way things need to be. But that's a new conversation. It's a different set of questions, and I've noticed my mind, and increasingly the people that I'm talking to, our minds are all going that way. So I wanted to kind of end a little bit with, I guess, a little of what I've learned, and also where we go, where I'm going. And the question of trust has come up a lot in the last week. So certainly for me and my business, decisions need to be made, investments need to be made in doing things differently. So new experiments to try, new things to think about, and investing in myself, my skills, my equipment, the way I run my business, the way I do my work with people. And of course investment is a cost, and we always have to ask ourselves, is this investment going to pay off? Should I do it this way? Should I do it that way? Should I not do it at all? So trusting myself it was one of the places I think we started in the early weeks. I started with trust and spending time with yourself and a bit of self-compassion to listen to yourself and know what it is you need. And I come back to that now. The stakes are high for everybody, and they remain high for businesses, for the economy, for the globe, for every individual. We've never felt more alive with the threat, really. And so trust has been coming up in conversation, and I'm doing some work at the moment which is around thinking about team trust, and I've been thinking about it from that perspective, and doing some work with one or two individuals where an inability to trust themselves is creating a lack of action, and this is a really important issue because action needs to be taken. Success is rooted in action. If we have a great idea, it doesn't mean anything, it doesn't achieve anything unless we implement it. Success is rooted in action for all of us. And in order to take action, we need to be able to follow through on our convictions, and we need to be able to trust ourselves. And it comes back to the same old story for me, that in order to be able to trust yourself, you first need to be able to listen to yourself, understand yourself, accept yourself where you are. And there's really no use in trying to live your life or make your decisions according to what might gain the approval or appreciation of other people, or what other people might do. In the end, in every communication, in every decision, in all the choices we make and the things we say, what we choose to say, what we choose to hold back, it all comes down to what works best for us. However much advice we get and however much we think other people want us to do certain things in a certain way. So trust for me, trust yourself, trust your heart, trust your mind, trust the things that come out of your mouth, and trust the things that pop into your head, and pay attention, listen carefully, because I think despite the risk, despite the anxiety, despite the not knowing, despite the ongoing and potentially never-ending uncertainty of the situation and the precarious balance, it can be managed, and we can lead ourselves and lead others if we just maintain that relationship with ourselves that allows us to have that self-trust. So trust is where I'm going, trust is where I'm sticking. We've talked about taking care of ourselves, we've talked about self-compassion, we've talked about the challenges and anxieties of not knowing and uncertainty, we've talked about the ability to have patience through uncertainty, and that requires trust. And we've talked about the challenges and unpleasantness of having to get up day after day and repeat something that's uncomfortable for us. And I think trusting ourselves, trusting the universe, and trusting everything is exactly as it should be for us is at the heart of all of that. So I wish everybody well, and I'm looking forward with open eyes and a beginner's mind to what comes next for me. I've made some trusted investments in myself, my business, my equipment. Difficult choices given the precarious nature of everything. Not big investments, but important investments which signal an intention to live by what it is I think I should be doing. So let's see where that takes me. I send my heart out to everybody who's listened and everybody who follows along, and stay safe, stay well, and keep trucking on.